Welcome students to the detailed instructions to part 2 of the Africa e-learning packet number 2. So this is the second e-learning packet, part number 2, detailed instructions. Just like any of the parts, any of the 6 different parts of this particular project, if you have any questions, please email me. I'll answer them pretty quickly. And, this is something that, again, with all parts, make sure that you're reading every single thing that's on the screen. That contains a lot of helpful information for you. For this particular part 2, it says view the presentation found at this link to help answer questions on these slides. It's a Google presentation originally created by Junior Scholastic, and when you click on that particular link, it takes you to the presentation that you would need to step through. It's a presentation about the history of government in Africa, and you see, Junior Scholastic, Africa, legacy of colonialism, and as the slides pull up, you'll get to have a little bit of the history, the story of government in Africa. You would step through each of the different slides, read each of the different slides, and once you're finished reading that entire presentation, it's kind of like doing a reading article type of a thing. Once you've gone through the different slides, then you go back to the Google Slides presentation where you actually, your particular presentation, and you have just 3 questions, 3 simple questions to answer. Now, I say they're simple. They do ask you to kind of think a little bit harder about what you just read. So like question number 1, what led the European powers to divide and control the lands and peoples of Africa? Little bit deeper question, so that you have to kind of probably type up a little bit more, and I've left you a little bit more space with that. The next question, the second question, what advantages and disadvantages did colonial rule have for the Europeans? Once the Europeans took over Africa, did they have advantages or disadvantages to having colonies in Africa? And then finally, how does colonial rule still affect Africa? Now that Africa is free and been free for the last 50, actually more than 50 years now, how does the colonial rule of the Europeans still impact Africa and its culture today, its governments today? And then the third question, a quote by Nelson Mandela, after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. How do his words still apply to Africa? Do they apply to Africa today? Probably so. In what ways? Now, once you've answered those 3 questions, you have finished part 2. So you can see that part 2 should only take you, maybe 30 minutes at most. Some people might be able to get done with it in 15 minutes, read through it and answer the 3 questions, but it might take upwards to about 30 minutes. So this is scheduled for 1 day. Most students, if you're following the correct timeline, would do this on Tuesday, April 7th. But it should only take you 1 day. And of course, if you're finished with part 2 and want to continue moving on to part 3, feel free to move on to part 3. There's no reason why you can't immediately start going into part 3. And as always, if you have questions, you have concerns, you don't understand what to do, please email me and I will get back with you as soon as I possibly can, undoubtedly within the same school day. So thanks for watching. Stay very safe, healthy, stay well, and we'll see you when school reopens. Bye.